From the north side of the San Francisco Bay to Singapore, welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio with your host, business owner, lecturer, author, master trainer, Tiaja. With over 30 years of experience in the health and fitness industry, he will challenge the fitness between your ears. So prepare your mind, body, and soul for the revolution of self-care, the evolution of fit, with real talk about real people, real health, real fitness, and the real deal behind our present illness culture. Real talk every time, all the time. Get weekly insights on how to shift your thinking, emoting, eating, training, hydrating, goal setting, and resting for you, the everyday athlete. You can cheat your fitness, but you can't steal your health flow. It's Tuesday, 9 a.m. Let's flow.
Why do we age? According to modern science, we age because of a process called senescence. Now, senescence, or biological aging, is the gradual deterioration of the functional characteristics of a cell. Now, that's a mouthful, but all you need to remember is that contrary to conventional thinking, you don't just die because you age. Recent studies indicate that telomere length, which can be affected by various lifestyle factors, can affect the pace of aging and the onset of age-associated diseases. Now, I prefer the expression age-associated rather than age-related because it is my belief that disease and aging are mutually exclusive terms, meaning aging isn't the cause of disease any more than being a child is the cause of being shorter than adults. Telomere length shortens with age, and progressive shortening of telomeres leads to senescence of somatic cells, which affects the health and lifespan of an individual. As a normal cellular process, a small portion of telomeric DNA is lost with each cell division. When telomere length reaches a critical limit, the cell undergoes senescence or apoptosis. Shorter telomeres have been associated with increased incidence of disease and poor survival. The rate of telomere shortening can be either increased or decreased by specific lifestyle factors. Now listen up. Better dietary choices and activities have great potential to reduce the rate of telomere shortening, or at least prevent excessive telomere attrition, which would lead to delayed onset of age-associated diseases and increased lifespan. Still, there are a myriad of other factors that too accelerate the aging process that have nothing to do with the chronology of the cell per se. The way we rest and de-stress, as well as the way we sleep, are also major contributing factors. Now take just a moment and think about all the choices you make every day that either contribute to your longevity or subtract from it. One of the choices we seldom consider as a factor is what we listen to. In our last episode, I shared with you the remarkable music therapeutic practice of Dr. DeForia Lane, who has changed the brain patterns of stroke victims and those with neurological diseases such as Parkinson's disease. Her research has shown that music has the ability to rewire our brains in such a way that new neural pathways can be created in the brain, bypassing damaged ones in order to restore motor or linguistic function. So if music can essentially assist in the regeneration of damaged brain cells, as in the case of stroke, then within it lies the potential to alter the way our cells interact with one another and to promote greater vitality. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were reconnected to the kid inside of you when hearing a song from childhood? And who hasn't felt a surge of energy when hearing a favorite love song or a song that conjured up fun times from the past? The answer is we all have. Think about it. If listening to certain types of music or songs can inspire greater energy, even healing in the body, then what we listen to is no longer just recreational or for pleasure. It becomes a matter of life and death. Welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio, where we challenge the fitness between your ears. I'm your host, Tiaja. The final episode in our three-part series, Why What You Listen to Affects Your Health, deals specifically and exclusively with the sounds we immerse ourselves in on a daily basis. After last week's episode, many listeners reached out to me to voice their opinion about how the different genres of music I played made them feel. If you haven't heard last week's show, I'll put a link in the description box so you may do so. Not surprising, the heavy metal band Slipknot was not a favorite, nor was the rapper Eminem, who was found to be vulgar and off-putting. Interestingly, it was a virtual tie between John Coltrane, one of my most revered jazz saxophonists. His opus Favorite Things and Rascal Flatts' A Country Band's ballad, I Know You Won't. Interesting because neither John Coltrane or Rascal Flatts dominate the Billboard's Hot 100. As of this recording, Eminem's Kill Shot, which I played last week, it is number 3, ranked slightly lower than Drake's In My Feelings, followed by Juice WRLD, Post Malone, Cardi B, and Fifi, etc. However, the number 1 song more or less substantiates what I said last week about the affinity for songs and groups who still produce acoustic music and organic lyrics like Maroon 5. Their song, Girls Like You with Cardi B, is ranked number 1, up from number 2 last week. By the way, I'm kind of feeling that song too. But what does this have to do with cellular senescence? Okay, let me go in the opposite direction to make my point clear. Have you ever listened to a song that drummed up negative memories and emotions about an ex or experience you had, and you had to turn it off because of how it was making you feel? Well, that's precisely what I'm talking about. Music has the power to usher in a flood of emotions which bathe ourselves with positive energy or stunts them with negative energy. And each and every time we allow ourselves to be inundated by negativity, whether from a conversation or the music we listen to, we should remember that our brains don't distinguish between the source. It simply records our emotional experiences. And those emotional experiences affect every cell in our bodies to either create greater energy and life or emotional fatigue or burnout, which leads to both the emotional and cellular senescence. 2018 will be just another year unless you decide today that it won't be. It is Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. Let's flow. With that said, this week I decided to do something a little different. I'm going to share my 2 cents now so you can choose to listen to my final segment without interruptions. So here are my 2 cents and feel free to keep the change. Last week I played several types of music as a quasi-experiment to stimulate emotion. This week, all I want you to experience is peace and healing. So I'm going to play for you a Solfeggio frequency, a healing frequency above 528 Hertz, which is considered by many to be the miracle note of the original Solfeggio frequencies musical scale. Such frequencies were used by ancient priests and healers as music therapy to manifest miracles and produce blessings. Sadly, we live in a time where most of the music we listen to today is empty calories, meaning it doesn't provide any nutrition for the body, mind, or soul. Moreover, much of the music today is used as psychological warfare or triggers to create feelings of chaos, shouting down anti-imperialism, which I'm okay with, but not while promoting socialism, or to inspire feelings of anger, bitterness, isolation, hopelessness, and rebellion. Of course, music has always done some of these things to some measure, but not like today. As I just read to you some of the top songs on the Billboard's Top 100, there is very little room for songs that challenge the mind or inspire love. Now, I'm not old enough to be one of those cast-offs from the Summer of Love who believes that all we need is love. I'm certainly more of a realist than that, but I'm also not naive about the times in which we live. Modern medicine, along with corporate advertising, has hacked our brains and created an overactive mind that teaches us to find calm and peace through drugs rather than through the divine. My hope is that you will be vigilant, and subsequently your vigilance will lead you to make better choices, not only for today, but for the sake and longevity of your 100 trillion plus cells tomorrow. Enjoy the frequencies of healing. Until next week, as always, walk in health and peace.